to Studio D on the campus of the University of Oklahoma. This is Sooner Sports Pad. And now, your host, Chloe Sparks.
Welcome to Sooner Sports Pad, everyone. I'm your host, Chloe Sparks, and standing next to me are our analysts, Parker Thune and Kemper Ball over here giving a little dance moves. OU had beat Kansas 15 times straight. Not to mention, Kansas had lost all 6 of their games this season by an average of 30 points apiece. I mean, what did you think was going to happen? As expected, the Sooners put this one away early. Just 3 minutes in, it's Spencer Rattler's 20 yards to Austin Stogner that gets the Sooner lead started at 7-0. Ramondre Stevenson continues his strong play, breaking this one outside and getting inside the pylon right here to double the lead. Midway through the second quarter, Rattler keeps it himself from 2 yards out, but takes a hard hit right here on his left hip. He would leave, but then come back. And Mordecai got into the mop-up duties in the second half, throwing this 14-yard touchdown pass to Marvin Mims. Oklahoma took the dub, as they should. And for the second straight week, Lincoln's boys put up 62 on the board. I want to ride this victory train all the way to the Big 12 championship. What resonated with you guys from Saturday's game?
Well, Chloe, you touched on it. The Sooners did something on Saturday that they never did when Baker Mayfield had his Heisman year. They never did it when Kyler Murray had his Heisman year. They didn't do it in the Jalen Hurts year either. You got to go back to 2015 to find the last time that Oklahoma put up 60-plus points in back-to-back games. This offense is firing on all cylinders, folks. Here's another fun stat for you. Kansas put up 9 points total on Saturday. Oklahoma put up double-digit points in every quarter, individually. A lot of credit due, of course, to Ramondre Stevenson, who turned 15 touches into 164 yards and 2 touchdowns. And sure, you can say it was just Kansas, a team that came into the contest 0-6. But everybody contributed. Check out Chandler Morris right here, getting his first touchdown to close out the scoring. The third-string true freshman quarterback, Oklahoma rushed for 6 touchdowns as a team. Marcus Major getting one of them right there. Gosh, this offense is good, Kemper, and they only seem to be getting better.
Absolutely. They're really hitting their stride right now. But it was a complete team performance for the Sooners. It was not just the offense. The defense chipped in, too. The defense came away with 9 sacks in this game. 3 of those coming from the man himself, Nick Bonito. Nick Bonito is emerging as a defensive superstar for the Sooners, and he was all over the field on Saturday. But he wasn't the only one, as sacks came from Ronnie Perkins, Marcus Stripling, Isaiah Thomas, Josh Ellison, and Brendan Walker. They were all over the place. So many names. Kansas had only 2 yards per carry. OU just dominated this one from start to finish, and they've really hit their stride as the season has gone on. Now, they started out 0-2 in the Big 12, and since then, since that Texas win, they have sacked the quarterback 20 times and had 39 tackles for a loss. The defenses look like a completely different team that might carry the Sooners all the way to a Big 12 championship.
It's really impressive to see how that pass rush has raised the bar, because in their first 2 games in Big 12 play, they only had 2 sacks, one apiece against Iowa State and Kansas State.
And guys, as discussed, it may have been an easy opponent, but there was a lot of hard work put into those 62 points. Let's take it to the players and coaches to hear what they had to say about the matchup.
I told somebody this earlier, but it just shows you how deep we are in our position group with our room. You know, the outside linebackers and DNs. Like we got true freshmen who can go out there and make plays and make a lot of plays. Like if we need them.
Well, to be honest with you, I've been practicing like I was playing since week 1. I tried not to lose a step on anything so I could be ready for this moment because I knew it would pass. So it's basically just the same preparation, just attack the week.
I feel like I'm in a good place. I feel comfortable out there. I feel good out there. It's fun for me out there. I like making plays with my guys and my offense. So, you know, I have a ball out there.
I called this player out last week, but I'm going to do it again. Remember whenever Spencer Rattler fumbled that ball? Yeah, Austin Stogner. Let's see it. Here it is with the Spencer has the play in action, and then he fakes it, loses it, and then Stogner's over here to recover, literally in the exact right spot he needs to be, had one little trip, and I don't care what you say, it's the small plays like this that's going to keep the momentum up for the Sooners throughout the rest of the game. Without that, who knows? Maybe, Kansas would have came back, started scoring, racking up the points.
Yeah.
We wouldn't have had such a large margin.
And
We like the large margin.
Especially because the Sooners already had 2 early turnovers in the game. That was big for Stogner to hop on that ball and deny Kansas good field position at the very least. I tell you what, though, Spencer Rattler has so many toys to play with this Oklahoma passing attack. Marvin Mims has been huge. Austin Stogner's been huge. But one guy that's been conspicuously missing from this aerial offense is the former top wide receiver recruit in the country and the top wide receiver recruit in Oklahoma history. Jaden Hazelwood made his return on Saturday. And folks, this guy's going to be a difference maker in the Oklahoma offense. There you see his lone catch on the day, just 1 catch for 33 yards. He saw limited snaps. He's recovering from off-season surgery, so they're easing him into action. But you would expect that he's going to be full tilt against Oklahoma State after the bye week. So that's going to be big for Spencer Rattler to have a sizable downfield threat, a guy that very much is in the mold of C.D. Lamb as a wide receiver, and he's definitely got that kind of high-end potential.
Kemper, can you talk that play?
I don't know. I'm sure going to try. I'm going to go with a collision from the second quarter that really sent a message to the Jayhawks. Freshman quarterback Jalen Daniels. This was his first trip to Norman, and what a trip it was. Getting helicoptered right there. It's Trey Norwood that makes the initial contact, and then it's Shane Witter that hits him the second time, causes him to spin like that. That is a tough hit. The freshman was running for his life all day, took a lot of nasty hits. This one, maybe the nastiest, though. It's good to see the Oklahoma defense looking mean again, though. I'm liking what I'm seeing from them.
Especially the young guys. Shane Witter's a true freshman.
Absolutely.
There's more up next from men's hoops and a former OU golfer who's now one of the top 25 golfers in the world. Stick around.
Thank you to our Cornerstone Television partners, OU Health, Anheuser-Busch, and the OU College of Professional and Continuing Studies, and our community partners, Landers Auto Group, Coca-Cola, and OU Health.
Welcome back to Sooner Sports Pad, everyone. Thanks again for tuning back. Sooner basketball is just about to start again. One of the men's players is caught up with Sports Pad's Lindsey Gibbs tonight. Let's hear it.
Tonight on Sooner Sports Pad, we have senior forward Brady Manek from the OU men's basketball team joining us. How are you doing today, Brady?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Good. So just jumping right into it, last season was cut short due to the COVID-19 pandemic. How have things adjusted in practice with the new social distancing and masking policies?
It's a little weird. I mean, getting to practice and just getting around the guys is good itself, but right now, we don't have as much time in the gym as we'd like, or we kind of around each other like it's like a weird feeling to be around your teammates and your friends. It's just different. But I think they're doing the best they can, and it's just really good that we're back on the floor.
And you've been nominated as a preseason candidate for the Karl Malone Award. What's that been like for you?
It's pretty cool. It's good to get noticed sometimes, especially after a career I've had so far. It's a good way to start the senior season and kind of have that notice early and hopefully just finish a good year.
And with OU alum Kay Davis being back on the OU staff, I know you two have history. What's that been like for you?
Super cool. I got to know Cade a couple years ago. I was playing for a summer team, and his friend was one of our coaches, and I got to know him a few times then. And over the last few years, he's came and practiced with us while he's playing professional basketball. So it's really cool to have someone that you're familiar with back in the gym.
And you're from Hera, Oklahoma. What's it like being such a key player for the program you grew up rooting for?
Yeah, it's super cool. My parents, they're really happy I chose to go here. I mean, they're 45 minutes away. They actually bought tickets today with the rest of the family members, so it's pretty cool. I think having my grandparents, my aunts and uncles, my brother can even make it sometimes. It's really cool to be close and close to home.
Well, Brady, thank you so much for being with us tonight on Sooner Sports Pad. Chloe, I'm throwing it right back to the studio to you.
Before making a name for himself, Abraham Anser spent his days grinding at Jimmy Austin with the rest of the OU golf team. Now, he's playing with the big dogs. Check it out.
The 2 up, The Americans still have a putt for birdie.
If you have questions on your short game,
That birdie putt a lot longer.
Abraham is your answer. 10 years ago, Answer was breaking records at the University of Oklahoma. Today, he is the number 22 golfer in the world, and his focus is only on getting even better.
It's crazy when you say top 25 in the world. I still don't feel like I'm quite there. There's so many things that I feel I need to get better at, which is a good thing. And I think that mentality is what kind of has helped me get to where I am.
A mindset that certainly works as it landed Abe a spot in the President's Cup facing Tiger Woods.
That was a lot of fun. Not only that match on Sunday, but really just the whole experience. Last time I got to play as a team was when I was at OU. And once you turn pro, it's only youth. So that atmosphere and playing, representing my country and being part of a team, having some captains that are absolute legends on the game that was something that we'll definitely never forget.
But being a part of a team isn't the only thing Answer misses about OU.
Hanging out with my teammates, they become really like brothers to me, my coach. I never really felt that really anywhere else growing up because, like I say, that's when you experience some team and it's like a family. So it was just a lot of fun. The football games were great too. I didn't grow up watching football, and now, when OU plays, I'm glued to the TV, or even if I'm playing in a tournament, I got to sneak my phone out and just kind of check the score. So.
Since Abraham left, OU men's golf has had plenty of highs under his former coach, Ryan Hybl, including winning the national championship in 2017.
It was great. I feel like now he's a lot softer than when I was there. He had a lot of pressure. It was his first year there. I think it was his first or second guy he recruited, and I think right off the get-go we clicked. We were kind of the same mentality. He's very competitive, just like I am. And I'm thankful that he saw something in me and brought me in, and I love my time there.
OU got a glimpse of what was to come in 2011 when Answer broke two school records. One for shooting a 63 over 18 holes, and another for shooting a 195 in 54. He also holds the second best scoring average in OU history. Now that he's a pro, his goals are a bit bigger.
Every time we get done a tour championship, I go back and look at my year, what I did, what I need to improve, my stats. A goal of mine every year is to make it to the tour championship, which I've been able to do that the last 2 years. And when you do that, you know you had a really good year.
After this week, one goal he can check off the list is playing in the Masters tournament.
I'm pumped, yeah. That was the only major I didn't get to play last year. And obviously moved from April to November, so the anticipation has been killing me. But yeah, I'm extremely excited. I can't wait to be there.
Sooner Nation, get ready to cheer on Abe as we watch him make his dreams come true beginning on Thursday. And that's it for now, but stay tuned. They're facing off when we return. Welcome back to Sports Pad, everyone. It's time for Kemper and Parker to face off. You guys ready?
Sure, let's do it.
Let's make it happen.
Should be fun.
Kemper's all smiley over there.
I'm giggly today.
All right, first question. Guys, which Sooner athlete do you think deserves more of a spotlight?
Well, Chloe, last week I touched on my optimism surrounding Sherry Cole and the Sooner women's basketball team. It certainly helps that the best shooter of basketballs in the nation, male or female, resides in Norman, Oklahoma. It's Cole's all Big 12 shooting guard out of McPherson, Kansas, Taylor Robertson. Folks, if you haven't watched Taylor Robertson, you're missing out on one of the most special athletes that the University of Oklahoma has ever seen. I sat courtside before the Sooners took on Kansas State last year and watched Taylor Robertson make 85 straight three-point shots in pregame. I kid you not. It's automatic when the ball comes out of her hand. Cole says of Robertson, we're shocked when she misses in practice. And with as much hype as this basketball program is collecting coming into this year, a lot of it due to the fact that Robertson is such a fantastic shooter, and especially with an extra year that she's going to have because of the eligibility freeze here in 2020. I can promise you, Kemper, Taylor Robertson is poised to break every perimeter shooting record at the school level, at the conference level, and at the national level. She will go down in history as the best three-point shooter in the history of college basketball.
And we won't even call it a hot take.
That's a big take. Do you think she could have beat Trae Young in a shootout?
I think there's a legitimate chance. I do.
Those are big words. For me, I'm going with tennis player. We haven't talked about tennis much on this show so far. Let's talk about Nathan Hahn, freshman tennis player. Now, Nathan had huge expectations coming into this season. He was the #1 prospect in the state of Oklahoma, and he was the #2 prospect in his total recruiting class. But he has lived up to those expectations. He leads the Sooners in single wins with a record of 5-2, and he just helped the Sooners at their the Big Six Fall Invitational, where he got his win over Texas Tech. The Sooners performed great out there, and he has already as a freshman made himself a main staple of this OU tennis team. He's going to be around for a long time. Going to do big things for the University of Oklahoma. Excited to watch his career unfold.
Okay, tennis. Okay, so now who do you guys think has the best chance of taking home some hardware this football season?
Well, we were talking about this before the show, Kemper. I think if Oklahoma had Ramondre Stevenson and Ronnie Perkins for the Iowa State-Kansas State game, I think they're undefeated and right in this conversation.
Yep.
Obviously, things didn't turn out that way, but when I look at the top teams in college football, I see one glaring common denominator, and that is a complete inability to play defense. That's why I like Ryan Day and the Ohio State Buckeyes, because I think this is the most complete team in the nation. They can get after the quarterback. They've got a tremendous secondary. I still believe that defense wins championships in college football in the year 2020. We thought Clemson had the best defense in the nation, and then they went out and gave up 47 and that lost to Notre Dame. Oh, and in case you had forgotten, Ohio State can still put some points on the board. Justin Fields is probably going to win the Heisman Trophy. At least I would consider him the favorite. And he's got plenty of weapons. This team can beat you so many ways, and I don't think there's any team in the Big Ten that can hold a candle to them. I would go a step further. I don't think there's any team in college football right now that can hold a candle to them. I think Clemson had that potential, but then they went and got beat by Notre Dame in double overtime. Ohio State is so far and away above the rest of the competition at this point in my mind.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see anyone in the Big Ten challenging Ohio State. I'd like to see them, perform a little bit more. It'll be interesting to see once they play some tougher opponents. But for me, I'm going with a team that I expect them to see in the national championship. I'm going with the Alabama Crimson Tide. Now, we all keep expecting Alabama to drop off, and they just don't. And a big part of that is the quarterback play. We thought there would be a drop-off with Tua left, but this guy, Mac Jones, can ball. He is accurate, he can make every throw in the book, and he helps Alabama put up insane numbers. You've pretty much got to put up 45 points to beat Alabama. There's not a lot of teams in the country with that kind of firepower. Ohio State has that kind of firepower, but we'll see if they can contend with that defense and stop Alabama at the same time. Because they got to stop a guy named Najee Harris. Ever heard of him? Might be the best running back in the country. Big boy.
My only concern with that Tide team is the defense, because you saw him give up 48 points to Ole Miss earlier in the year. So that's a question mark for me.
I think that was more about Ole Miss. I think Ole Miss has a decent offense, and I think they're well coached. If you watch that game, Ole Miss was playing at a breakneck pace. It would have been hard for any team to keep up with them.
Now, win us over with your viral video.
Well, folks, it is a sad state of affairs in the NFC East when 5 or 6 wins are enough to win the division and get you in a position to host an NFL playoff game. But that is the current situation here in 2020. The Philadelphia Eagles could lose on Monday Night Football tonight, sit at 3-5-1, and still have sole possession of first place in that division. Let's take a look at how things are going in the most entertaining circus in the NFL.
It's not great.
This is from yesterday's game between the New York Giants and the Washington football team. Does anyone want to recover this football? Does somebody have money on the other team here? Do they have mittens on their hands? What is going on? Someone fall on the football. Kemper, you mentioned it. It looked like somebody was pumping their fist.
Yeah, there's a Washington player celebrating the fumble recovery. That's not a fumble recovery.
There's nothing to celebrate on that play, no matter what side you're on.
That is just ugly
No
football.
one wins here.
Not ideal. So for me, I'm really excited. The basketball is coming back. The NBA is going to start in December, and I cannot wait. But to get them ready, they need some new officials. So let's take a look at the NBA's new officiating training program. They are starting them young, and they're starting them adorable. This guy is already one of the top referees in the league. Look at him patrolling the sideline. He's got the hands on the hip.
He got the ref strut down.
Hell yeah, he looks like a ref out there. Look at the way he counts in the lane. Look at him count in the lane. He has a
Flawless
strong
mechanics.
grasp of what's going on. He's not going to let any call slip by him. I cannot wait to see him officiate in the NBA this year.
What a cutie, me either. Now it's time to vote. Cheer loudest for who you think won. First, we're going to give it up for Parker.
Come on. Come on.
But if you want Kemper, then you got to cheer louder.
Stop it.
Kemper is going to take the win this week. I feel like he deserves it. And now, guys, tune back in after this because we will have all the Sooner sports to watch for, plus some questions from our viewers. Not a whole lot going on. Starting us off is volleyball on Thursday at 6 o'clock in Lubbock. They'll have another matchup on Friday at 4, but also on Thursday, soccer will host Bedlam. Be sure to catch that at 7. And then suddenly the sports week ends on Sunday with another soccer game. That one's at 1 o'clock against sweet little Kansas. Now, for the first time, you had the chance to enter your questions into the Sooner Mailbag. So tonight, our analysts will discuss them for the first time live. Let's get the first one up there. First question from Audrey Goodson. Will the OU women's basketball team make the NCAA tournament this year?
Well,
Parker?
I answered this last week, and I'll reiterate. I think they do, and I think Taylor Robertson, whom we just talked about, is going to be a big part of that campaign.
Yep, couldn't agree more. When you've got a shooter like Taylor Roberts out there, it's gonna be easy to pick up some wins.
All right, we got time for one more question. Parker Abels wants to know, what seed is OU going to be in the tournament this year?
I think for the men, you're looking at an 8-9 seed, about where they've been the last couple of years.
I think that sounds fair.
Yeah, Lon Kruger and the boys going to be, they're going to have the ship right where it's been the last couple of years.
They're going to have a tough time in the conference. Kansas is going to be really good. Oklahoma State's going to be really good. It's going to be tough.
That's all the time we have for this week, but thank you so much for tuning in to Sooner Sports Pad once again. Be sure to check out our social media to ask us questions at Sooner Sports Pad and check out our behind the scenes footage. Good night.